All right. So just getting started. We're going to picture and imagine that we just closed on the real estate deal. Okay. Now, the platform that we like to use is simply called Basecamp. Now, I'm going to share this with you. Now, everything I share with you, remember this, everything I share with you has been handed down and taught to me by somebody that's doing bigger and better things than what we're doing, right? This platform that I'm going to share with you right here was shared with me by an investor out in California, that these guys are out there building nothing but $1 million plus houses, killing the game with these big astronomical numbers. But it doesn't matter whether you're doing $200,000 flips like we're doing, or you're building big multi-million-dollar mansions in a country or in a city across California or across the United States. The processes don't change. So this is all relative, or it's all relatable for whatever kind of deals you're doing, whether you're in a little market like us in Ohio, or you're in a high-end market like, say, San Diego, California. It doesn't matter. The fundamentals don't change. So we use Basecamp. Let me share my screen here for a second. All right. So I'm hoping everybody can see this. So we use a platform called Basecamp. I'm not sure what it goes for now. I think we pay like 35 bucks a month or something. You'll have to check into this yourself. Now, there's no affiliate with this. We don't get paid for anything for this. This is just what was shared with me on to help with our property management or project management. I'm sorry. So inside of Basecamp, it's designed for a project management system. So here's how we operate ours. We have both of our companies here. Glass City Rentals, that's obvious. That's for all of our rental projects. And Howell Properties, that's our rehab business. So inside of these, we have templates for everything that we do. Now I'm going to open up some real live projects and show you exactly what goes on in the day-to-day. But keep in mind, everything is a checklist. So there's this little section here called to-dos. We have a checklist, start to finish. And some people on this watching this video might be into wholesaling. That's great. Here's a checklist, start to finish on wholesaling. We're not going to touch too much on this. We don't do much wholesaling anymore. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the rehab process. But I want to skim through and show you all these. We have a checklist, start to finish, for our rental properties. So this is a checklist that spells out everything that needs to be done, start to finish, from the end of the rehab all the way through getting ready to put a tenant in a house. Every one of these boxes has got to be checked before it's ready to put a tenant in. All right. Again, we'll do a whole nother video on this. Today, we're going to talk about rehabs. So here it goes. Now, imagine we closed on the deal. What's the first thing we do? The first thing we do is we come in Basecamp. My sister will handle this, and she'll make the checklist for what needs to be done with the project. You'll see here, from the accepted offer all the way to earnest money gets sent over to the title company. And in our market, we order a flood certification. What happens is the title company will do a flood cert, meaning they'll verify whether the property is or is not in a flood zone, right? This determines on whether it's harder to sell because people need flood insurance, or whether we're safe and it doesn't need any of that. From there, we'll go into and we'll create our Google Drive folders. And I can show you more of those later. We create Google Drive folders to organize the entire project. All of our documents, all of our photos, all of everything that goes along with the deal is in a Google Drive folder. Now, keep in mind, guys, hold on, let me stop this for a second. When we spell out these checklists, some of this might be really, it might be, we want to say we dumb it down, because you might have this mind where you're educated and you understand what all these words and stuff mean. But when you're building your SOPs, your operating procedures, or you're using hours or whatever you have going on, keep in mind, when you're making your checklist and your instructions for your team, you want to treat it as if you're talking to a 5-year-old, because the simpler you can make it, the less bottlenecks and questions you're going to have. If you make a project for your team, or you make a checklist for your team, and you know that, or you notice that there's just tons of questions coming back, it's not their fault they're coming to ask you all the questions. What happened is you didn't make it simplified enough to where they didn't have any questions. I'm talking break it down into very, very, very fine state. Say this. Break it down to very detailed. Break it down very detailed, no matter how minuscule you think it might be. So let me get back into this. All right, now what did I do? Oh, here we go. All right. So in our business, once we get to the flood cert, we save it. She saves it right inside of this project, and I'll show you where all that goes. We save it right inside of Basecamp. Now, before you purchase the property, you or your team member is going to go out and they're going to have a whole bunch of pictures of the project, right? We save all those pictures right in your Google Drive. So the goal is to only have to go to the project 1 or 2 times at the very beginning. And once all your scopes of work and stuff are done, you don't have to go there very often because you have everything in pictures, right? Then what you're going to do is once you get your accepted offer and and you have all your pictures and stuff taken, your team is going to verify the status of the. And the reason that we do that is because in our state, if you buy a property and the water is shut off, it costs more money to get it turned back on. And also, there's water bills that if they don't pay their water bill, a house cannot be sold in our market, anyways, that has a big water bill. And a lot of times, when you're buying properties with people that might have challenges going on, they don't pay their bill. So you want to make sure you do that. Once you get your home inspection, here's the most major part that I want you to take away from this whole video. I'm going to share things with you that's going to save you millions of dollars over time. One thing you're never going to do is skip a home inspection. So when you're getting your property, when you're buying a property, regardless of the condition, never skip a home inspection. Here's why. Long story short, I did a deal 4 hours away from home. We've only done one virtual, one remote deal in 15 years, my entire career. We lost multiple 6 figures on that deal for one mistake. And the reason that we did that was because the home inspection was missed on the front end. And because the home inspection was missed on the front end, the city of Indianapolis came through and they found out that the house was built on 2 foundations, which would have been caught on the home inspection. And because they found that, it went from a rehab to a scrape and new build. Scrape means knock it all down and rebuild the lot. Scrape and new build. So we were behind multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars the first week on the market. So never skip your home inspection. Learn from my mistake. Okay. All right, let's go back over here again. All right. Once you get your home inspection, put your report inside of your Google Drive and inside of your Basecamp so your team can see it. And you want to make sure that everybody's got this, everybody's on the same page. You've got your home inspection. Everybody sees it and they know what the problems are. From there, you or your team is going to send your private money lender info over to the title company, get the ball rolling there, and then the deal is going to close. Once the money's wired over to the title company, you're going to go close on the deal. You're going to order your home insurance, and you're going to do the final walkthrough. I'm getting you through the preliminaries of actually buying the deal so I can get into the rehab stuff. You're going to review your HUD with your title company and with your team to make sure all the numbers are right. Make sure all your utilities are transferred into your name, and then you're going to close, right? So let's pick it up from right here. So we're going to close on the deal, right? We've made it past. Everybody's title company is different, so I want to make sure that when you're doing this, you go talk to your title companies and make sure their processes are the same on how they handle a transaction from A to Z. This is how we handle ours. First things first, when we close on a deal, immediately inside of this Basecamp, when I check this box right here, it will notify Shelly that this deal is closed. It'll notify everybody that this deal is closed, right? Once they get that notification, the next thing that happens is the dumpster will be ordered. So we will order as soon as we close on it, the dumpster gets ordered, automatically happens. Shelly handles that. And then she will also take the liberty to make sure all the funds have been received or sent, whatever, from when the deal closes. All the money's been sent back from the title company for the lending. Make sure all of our purchase docs are sent straight to the accountant. So these are all things you want to make sure right away that you're not putting on the back burner, because at the end of the deal, it'll come back and bite you in the ass, right? Make sure right away your closing docs are sent off to your accountant and they're filed in your QuickBooks or however you do your bookkeeping system. Do all that right away. From there, your admin happens to be our sister. My sister will create a spreadsheet to start tracking every cent that goes in the property. In the property. All this happens within hours of closing it, right? After all the preliminary stuff's done there, she will start the lawn and snow service. Well, we're in an area where there's 4 seasons. So she's going to start the lawn service or the snow service, depending on where we're at, right? Automatically happens. They go out once every 7 to 10 days and handle that. Now, next thing here is we're going to do the scope of work. And this is what I want to get to. Oh, I'm sorry. This is what I want to get to here and share with you exactly what a scope of work is. Once we get to the scope of work, oops, where are we at? Once we get to the scope of work here, this is what sets up your entire project. Everything I'm sharing with you here, this is the project list. This is all the admin stuff. This is all the stuff that goes on in the office and a little bit of mixture between the office and ourselves out in the field. But this is primarily everything that my sister takes care of from the office when we're doing a flip. Now, let me share with you exactly what it looks like when we do a scope of work. So the way this works is we do what's called a demo scope of work. So myself or one of our team will go out, take this template right here, and we have a template made for everything that's going to get torn out of the house. We simply go through this. This is your bread and butter. How you demo the property and set it up for the next team will determine success on your entire project, right? So we literally have it broke down into every single room: living room, family room, dining room, bedrooms, and hallways. And we will go through, and here's a little ninja tip for you. What I'll do is I'll go through with what's called your voice recorder app. I'll go through with your voice recorder app, this checklist, and record everything, and then send it off to Shelly, and she'll go through and make the demo scope of work, right? It's a little team effort. So it's a little bit faster when you're out in the field. Voice recorder right on your iPhone if you have an iPhone. If you don't have an iPhone, I don't know what to tell you because that's all I know how to use. So voice recorder, demo scope of work. You're going to go through. Now keep this simple. All this is what's coming out. For example, if the flooring's coming out, check the box. If your doors are coming out, check the box. You're just simply checking the box of everything that's coming out of each room. Very detailed, right? The trim comes out, the vents come out, the lighting comes out. You're just going to go through and make a list very specific of everything that's coming out of every room. Very detailed. And I promise you that if you don't write it down, the smallest of things, plug, switch plates, exhaust fan, trim, doors, vanity mirror. If you don't make it very detailed, you can't expect your contractor or your team to understand, or you can't get disappointed in them if they don't do what you had in your mind, right? You want to make sure that it's spelled out very detailed so that there's no questions. And then what happens is all of these will get shared with the entire project. That way, or they'll get shared with the entire all the contractors. That way, you know, everybody's on the same page, right? So you're going to create your demo scope of work. All right, here we go. Demo scope of work. Let me go back over here. All right, from there, after you create your demo scope of work, you're going to go back and do the exact same thing with the scope of work. So you have your create your demo scope of work, and then you're going to create your scope of work. So you're going to do the exact same thing, only it's reversed. You're going to go through room by room and make a checklist of exactly what's going to go in the project. These two things, this is all very important, right? But these two things right here, you'll notice from this point on, everything kind of slows down a little bit. Once you get your demo scope of work and your scope of work done, everything kind of slows down until the job's done. You'll send the scopes and the layouts to the contractors, and then there's nothing all the way till the final inspection, right? So the top portion of this list is the front end, is like you come out of the gate with chaos, a bunch of stuff going on at the very beginning. But these two things right here are like the playbooks for your entire project. You do these correct and very, very detailed, the rest of the job runs smooth, okay? So then we'll get into the rehab stuff, but I want to make sure I walk you through this at the end of this. After the rehab's completely done, she'll order the final inspection. So here's another key for you. We do 3 inspections on all of our properties. 3. And here's what I mean by that. Every property that we buy, we'll do a home inspection on the front end, like I said. And then when you get finished, you do another home inspection as if it was never inspected to begin with. The home inspection company come through and inspect it again. This is how you can create your punch list to make sure that your project and your quality stays nothing but top tier, right? You find any bugs that might have got missed, anything that you might have missed out, you will be able to take care of that with your second home inspection. Then what's going to happen is when you sell the property, The buyer is going to do their home inspection as well. So you're going to mitigate. They're still going to things they always do. That's their job. But you mitigate a whole bunch of stuff by inspecting your projects twice, right? And usually the home inspection company will work a deal with you if you're doing them 2 times. All right, let me get back to where I was at here. All right, so after your home inspection, you are going to, where am I at? Schedule your final cleaning. She'll schedule the final cleaning. The cleaning lady will come out and clean the house. Last but not least, you're going to stage the project, right? You're going to order your staging. Always, 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 always stage your property when you're rehabbing a house. From there, your agent's going to list it coming soon. Photos. This is all just the admin meniscus stuff at the end of a deal. Not too much to really teach here, but the point I'm trying to share with you is make a checklist for every small detail. We've got request photos from the agent, save the listing in the Google Drive, send the listing photos to our VA so she can put them in the website, clear to close, everything about remove the staging, close with the title company, all the way down to cancel your utilities, verify your wire, make sure everybody's paid appropriately. Everything's done all the way to archive project and then record any material that's left over. So here's the nuts and bolts of the admin stuff of a rehab project. That's fine and dandy. What I want to teach you now is the construction aspect. This is what everybody wants to know. The best way to build one of these lists, number one, is either ask me and I'll share it with you, or number two, everything you do throughout a rehab project, write it down. And I'll talk more about that before we get done here today. So construction. Now, we've got the deal. We ordered the dumpster. Dumpster's on its way. Here's how it's going to work. That home inspection that we had earlier today, or that we had at the beginning of the project, you are going to review it with your project manager or your contractors, whoever's doing your rehab projects. You're going to review it with them. That's what's going to help create the scope of work that we talked about earlier. Okay. Now, again, this is start to finish. Every little detail that's going to happen on a rehab project, all the way down to at the very beginning of a project, you're going to change your locks, install a lockbox for the team, hang your job site sign. For more on that, ask me or check out one of our videos. Our rehab company is called Howell Properties LLC. You can check that out and see how we hang a job site sign that shows all the rules, basically no smoking, no loud radios, all the rules of the job site. Here, create both your scopes of work, do those together with your general. Now, we always start from the top, bottom, outside in, right? Because the reason is you want to make sure that your project is marketable. So you want to work on the outside and work it in so that the outside always looks nice while you're rehabbing the inside. So order your roof work. Order roof work. From there, your demo is already complete. You're going to demo the property, and then the demo is complete. When this box is checked, it'll notify everybody that the demo is complete, and we'll be able to start all the roughs. From there, we secure all of our plumbing and make sure the water main can be turned on so we have water on the job. And then we're going to go through all of the what do we do? Security stuff. Make sure our gutters are good. Make sure we're going to order our windows. Make sure you order your windows early, because windows take a while to get. So it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get the windows in. Our flips usually only take 6 to 7. So we want to make sure that we order the windows right away and get that. From there, we always we hang a flag. We hang a flag on every project. So every project we have, this is how fine-tuned this is. We hang a flag, and we very patriotic around here for obvious reasons. Install our yard sign. Every house that we flip, a sign in the front yard. Howell Properties. Install the yard sign. That's your marketing while that job's going on. From there, you're going to install or order any permits that might be needed. If you need to get permits, order your permits. And then you're going to do your rough work. So rough work is the prior to your drywall repair. So you're going to do all your electrical rough. You're going to do your plumbing rough. You're going to get all your windows installed. Anything that can be done before the drywall work goes in. And then you're going to fix the drywall. From there, your drywall team's going to come in. They're going to repair the drywall, and then you're going to start putting it back together. From right about there, in between the drywall repair and the kitchens being delivered, you'll get your Home Depot delivery. We like to use Home Depot in our market. You can use whoever you want, but we set it up to where all of our materials get delivered right at the end of drywall repair. So it's very seamless. The same day that the drywall repair winds down, Home Depot delivery gets there, the next contractor will pick it up the next day and keep moving forward. At that same time, usually the cabinets will get delivered as well. So we can start our finished carpentry and all the install right when the drywall repair is done. And then we go to, after the kitchen cabinets are in, countertops are installed while the doors and trims are being done, or the doors and trims all being completed. If you notice, all we've done is just literally go through step by step by step by step over the years and write down what order everything seems to work the best. And now this, not to say this doesn't change periodically. You might find something that works better in your business. This changes all the time for us. We might hit a snag somewhere and we might realize that maybe the order is out of order and it needs to be in a different way. That's fine too. We do all of our finished carpentry, get the garage door and the opener ordered. Then after we get all our carpet or trim in and doors in, we'll order our hard surface floorings. We like to do our hard surface flooring right around the time the trim's being done. And the reason we do that is that way the hard surface can go down. The hard surface can go down and the trim can go on top of that. So actually, let me do this here. Let me do this. This should go up here. See how easy that is? Bam. All right. Then we'll get the paint. Once the trim's all in, drywall's all prepared, everything's done, Todd will go in and paint the place. And from there, we'll start with the finished plumbing, get the water on, get everything working in there. Once we get the finished plumbing in, we will move out of the way. Finished carpenter will come back in, start putting on doors and handles and all the bath accessories. And in that time, we like to make sure we can help our guys make as minimal as trips as possible. So from there, the appliances will get ordered, the appliances will get delivered, and the electrical happen. The electrical happen during that time. That way, when he comes back, he can do all his installs and stuff at the same time. He doesn't have to make a bunch of trips. One of the most important things of an entire rehab project, or we talked about the home inspection already, but one of the most important things of a rehab project is your blue tape walk. Now, all a blue tape walk is the blue tape walk is one of those things that's going to usually piss everybody off, and that's okay, because at the end of a job, you're going to go through with your contractor. Actually, it's better if you have your contractor go through first, and then you go through second to hold the standards up with just a roll of blue painter's tape. And you're going to put, if there's blemishes, if there's dings, if there's dents, if there's things that are just off, if something isn't right, a mirror might be crooked, plug plate might be crooked, whatever it is, you're just going to take a piece of blue tape and stick it on the wall, right? Stick it on whatever it is. And then at the end, your contractors are going to go through through the project and see all the blue tape, and they're going to know these little things need to be addressed. The blue tape walk and the home inspections keep your standards high, and you got to have that. If like every other flipper in the world, and you're not going to be respected. So make sure you do all your home inspections, and you're doing all your blue tape walk too, to make sure your standards stay high. All right, so we'll go back over here. We made it past the blue tape walk. Okay, review your final inspection. This will help you create your punch list. Once you review your final, that's where this comes from. So the blue tape walk and your final inspection will help you make this. Once all these three things are completed, you're going to verify it, make sure it's all done. Right about that time, in our market, we do our landscaping last. So we do the exterior of everything, but we don't put down the mulch or final cut on the beds or any of that stuff until just before pictures are getting ready to come, because that's when you want it to be sharp. You don't want any overgrowth or anything like that. We do our landscaping right before pictures come. That way it's fresh and clean, the best pictures possible on the market, and sell the property. If necessary, the duct cleaning will come in last. The duct cleaning will come in very, very last. She wants to be the last one in. Everything she cleans is inside a duct, so cleaning will come through all the way last if that needs to be done. And from there, if you're in a market where you have basements, we paint all of our basements. We paint all of our basements, gray walls, black, it's called dry fall ceilings, and gray floors. Every basement we do, it gets painted that color. That's the last thing painted on the way out. From there, Todd will go through and do a final touch-up if necessary. We will remove our signs after it's all done. It'll go on the market, and from there, we'll have an end of the project meeting. You'll see end of the project meeting. Let's talk about that. Every project you do, every property you do, you're going to learn from it, every single one. And yes, I know there's people on here that Where I was talking to a young lady earlier, all the way out in San Diego. I don't know if she's on here now. I'm not that good at tech. We'll figure that out later. But she had mentioned not doing so well on her first couple flips. Full disclosure, we rehabbed houses 2010 through 2016 before we ever made any real money. My partner and I used to get excited if we would do an entire deal and make a few $1,000 at the end, because at that time, if we made what our payback worth of money on a flip, we thought we were doing something great. We didn't know any different. We didn't start making any real money until we finally hired a coach and was able to teach us how to build a business like this rather than just having a side hustle, right? So at the end of every job, you are going to have a meeting with your team, especially your project managers, and usually your acquisitions people. You want to talk about specific things that went on the project. You want to talk about maybe little bottlenecks you might have had, places you could improve, timelines, things like that. The end of the job meeting is extremely important because that's how you grow, right? It's a feedback meeting. It's usually, some people look at it like it's a bitch session, right? You're going to complain or whatever. And that's not what it is. The end of the job, it's important because when you're going through the project, you're always on timelines. You might have 5, 6, 10, whoever you are, you might have a whole lot of jobs for at a time. You might not have a time to deep dive into an issue that you're having at that point in time. Jot it down. And when you have your feet at the end of the deal, that's when you grow. At the end of every rehab project is when you get better. So I wanted to come on tonight and share some of these things. The most important thing you can possibly do is, as you're doing a rehab project, at the very beginning, just write down every little thing you do. That's where this comes from. And what is, over time, you're going to build what's called SOPs, standard operating procedures, right? It's an absolute must in your business. I've been very lax at doing those, but the past 6 months to a year, we're going all in on it. The way that we're doing it and the way that I like to handle it personally is I have what's called System Sunday, where I like to spend an hour or so on Sunday just documenting one of the systems and processes that we do in our business. Now, we do a lot. We do everything from rentals to rehabs to, we have a sales team. We have all that stuff. We're creating SOPs for every single thing that we do. And what that does is it allows you freedom and flexibility to manage the system and process and not manage the person, right? We're all doing this business for time freedom, I believe. Some people may not, but we're doing this for time freedom. The more that you can organize your rehab projects, organize your rental business, whatever it is you have going on, so it's systematically operated, you're going to free up your time. And the more detailed and fine-tuned you can get those, the better you're going to be, because it's going to eliminate so many questions. And then you know that if you have it spelled out black and white and the SOPs dialed in and the SOPs correct, and the same questions keep coming back, you might have a personnel issue, right? And that's okay too, because this is how we all grow. But before you can make any judgments or make any changes, you got to make sure that schematically structured SOPs, just like I just showed you, on how a project runs, so that you can make your decisions based off that. So all of this might seem like a lot. Understand that it's designed. I come from a construction background. I was an electrician way before I ever got into rehabbing houses, and I credit that experience into the construction side of things. That doesn't mean that if you don't have construction experience, you cannot build a rehabbing business. Actually, if you don't have any construction business, I see the people that don't have any construction business or don't have any of the hands-on experience build bigger, stronger, better businesses, because they have no choice but to be skilled at hiring people, building teams, SOPs, things like that, because they didn't grow up swinging a hammer like I did, right? So I highly recommend Basecamp if you're rehabbing houses. That's the platform. That no specific reason. The only reason is because that was recommended to me by another investor doing much bigger and better things than we're doing, and it's worked out great for all of us. Rehabbing houses, it changed the life of, changed my family's life, changed my life, and it was hell for the first 6 years, 7 years, and we're still constantly growing. So understand that if you're doing deals and maybe you're not doing so good right out of the gate, you might be taking one on the chin, just trying to figure it out. Keep going and learn every single time, and make sure you're learning from the right people. If there's any questions I can help, let me see here. I don't know if from the questions I can help. Let me see. I don't know if there's let me look. Oh, hold on a minute. Bear with me. Here we go. Oh, I'm going to go through right now. Here we go. So, uh, can you share the checklist again? Absolutely, Stephanie. Do that right now. Here you go. So, and if you like, I could send this out. If you want to drop your email address in the comments, whatever you want, somewhere in there, I could email this out to you. I'd be happy to do that. No big deal. Um, and again, all these checklists that we've created are trial and error. Everything that we've done over the years. You know, we've done hundreds of flips. We've been doing this for a very long time. A lot of people want to know, how do we keep it so dialed in? It's not always so dialed in, but with checklists, it helps you. It gives you a blueprint. It helps everybody stay on the same page. Hold on a minute here. I'm trying to get with all the. Oops. Forgive me. I'm trying to make sure. Yep. Yeah, Michelle, I got you. Kevin, yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I got all of you. No problem. Um, yes. What's up, young lady? There's the girl from San Diego I was talking about. This off of here. You'll learn that I'm a real estate investor. I'm not the biggest tech savvy guy you're ever going to meet in your world. But full disclosure, I love doing this. If there's anything anybody help people with, let me know. I used to travel the country doing this with a company that taught me how to do all this. So anything I can do to help. The thing you really want to understand, guys, is keep your business boring, right? Keep it boring, keep it repetitive, keep it systematic, operate with integrity, focus on helping people, and the money will come, right? Rehabbing houses is, but you kind of real estate investing kind of it has stages, right? Everybody wants to be a wholesaler. Wholesaling is great, it's cool, whatever. It's a never-ending job. If you want to wholesale, you want to graduate into rehabbing. Why? Because once you learn how to rehab, you learn how to raise private money, you learn all of the things that go along with that type of a business. Now you're building assets, and pretty soon you've gotten millions of dollars worth of assets paying you monthly, and you don't have to have the hustle and the grind of wholesaling houses anymore. The reason I'm all for, we've done it. We used to do it for sporadically, but you have to understand wholesaling is the easiest thing to sell online. What we like to do is coach investors that want to go from rehabbing one or two houses a year to maybe 10 to 20 or whatever, because all we do is teach the systems and processes that we do on a daily basis. If we are experts at something, I'll share it with you. If we don't know how to do it, I'll share that with you too. Let's see here. Answer, see if we got any more. Is there any more? 8:15. I have a little more time. If there's any questions, I got all these emails. Brett, Little, Jack, I've got all these emails. I will send all of this to you, as a matter of fact. Kevin, I got you. Little, yes. I got it all. Yep, we got it all. Tony, what's up, brother? Ian, I got you. Stephanie, yes. Everybody on this list, yes. I will add you all to the Google Doc. Do me a favor though. I'm going to add you all to it, leave it out there for a couple days, and then delete your name off the Google Doc. So make sure you copy it, save it to your Google Doc, and you'll have it. But keep in mind, guys, full disclosure, take what we've done and make it yours, right? Our team is all of our team that we have with us has been with us. My sister's been running the show from behind the scenes since 2016, I think, basically. And my son's been with me going through the whole ride. He's full time for the past 2 years. But all the time that I was spent traveling on the road and doing all that, it's all about just connecting with people and learning, right? If I can give you any advice about reading, investing, wholesaling, whatever, no matter who you learn it from, right? Real estate investing doesn't change. I don't care. I happen to be in Toledo, Ohio. It is the most affordable city in the United States of America. My mentors that I'm working with were in San Diego, California. It didn't matter whether you were rehabbing a 1,500 square foot ranch house that was $1 million down on Mission Beach in San Diego, or if you're rehabbing a 1,500 square foot house ranch in Toledo, Ohio, that's worth 200 grand. Processes didn't change a single bit. Everything that I'm teaching you now is things that I learned from people that are doing 25 to 50 deals at a time rehabbing houses, right? So it's down to help any way I can. Let's see here. All right. So I guess if there's no other questions here, What do Jack says, what do you think about everything going on in the river or the east side? No, I'm not much on predicting future. So one thing that I've learned is I don't buy on appreciation. I don't care what the prediction of something's going to happen in the future. When we as a deal or we're going to do numbers to take a house down, I analyze it as if we were going to rehab it today and sell it tomorrow. I don't ever buy anything off of what's going to happen in 6 months, a year, 10 years, 20 years. It doesn't matter. I do know on average, nationwide, real estate doubles in value every 15 years, right? I'm 46 years old, so by 60, everything we have will be doubled, and that's sitting pretty good, I guess. But I don't buy on appreciation. That's a really good question. Let's see here. Anything else? Sarah, of course, I'll send it to you. I got about 10 more minutes here, guys. Is anybody here rehabbing or even wholesaling or rental? Anything I can do to answer some questions for you? Thanks, Jack. Yeah, that's just me, brother. And I'll tell you, I'll elaborate on that a little bit. Newski, long time, brother. What's happening? A lot of people, when the market shifted and changed, and you hear about this quote unquote crash that's coming. By the way, there ain't no crash coming. And what happened was people were buying on appreciation. I'll use an example of Florida. 2,000 people a day were moving to the state of Florida when the pandemic hit and all that, right? People were flooding out of California. They're flooding out of the Northeast. They're flooding out everywhere. Everybody's going to California. Obvious reasons, right? So appreciation was skyrocketing. You could write your own ticket. People were just putting houses in the market and selling it for whatever. Texas, I mean, all over the place. People were buying on appreciation. They were buying off what Jack just asked, off what they thought it was going to be in the future. Well, when the shifted, bam, the slightest shift, whether it's a pandemic, whether it's, interest rates, whether it's political, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. When there's the slightest shift, when people buy on appreciation, they're the first one to lose their shirts, because I could buy a house today, say it's worth 200 grand, but I'm expecting to be worth 3 next year when I get done rehabbing it. A lot of people I know do rehabs that last long time. And they're thinking, well, when I'm done with this house, right, it's worth 3 today, but when I'm done with it, it's going to be worth 5. Well, then there's a slightest pullback. Much stuff that can happen in the time of doing a flip. The slightest pullback, and they lost their shirts. So many people lost so much money for buying on appreciation. I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm just saying I was taught otherwise, and I don't gamble. I don't even gamble when I go to casinos, but maybe very minimal amount. And that's gambling to me. So anytime we buy a house, we buy it with 3 strategies. Can I turn around and sell it tomorrow? Can I hotel it? Meaning, can I put it on the market tomorrow? Can I renovate it, sell it as a rehab? Or can we do the bird model, renovate it, refinance out of it, and then keep rental property? Every deal we do has got to have 3 exit strategies. That's the model. You can do whatever you choose, but that's just our model. Jim, what's happening, my friend? Advice on the real estate market? Where they employ? Are they in? Hold on, I'm with you. I'm gonna get to all of them. Where do you find your contractors? Are they employed, or do you outsource to a licensed GC? Great question, Stephanie. I've never used the GC. I think it's a waste of. That's just my opinion. Now, we use individual tradesmen. When we first got started, it was an absolute shit show. When we first got started, Kevin and I used to find anybody with a heartbeat and have them help us with our houses. We'd have the plumber that we talked to at lunch. We'd talk to the whoever roofer that was happened to be on the job. It was bad. We used to use anybody we could because we thought it was cheaper. Here's a good nugget for you. The best way to find contractors, the absolute best way to find contractors, the best way to find anything is to build relationships with other real estate investors that are in your market. Here's why. When you start networking, I teach a whole course on how to network, right? When you start networking and you operate with integrity and you operate bringing value to people, especially, don't be that guy or girl that shows up at the real estate investor event and just starts begging everybody for all their information, right? Show up at the real estate investor event looking to bring value to help other people grow. And law of reciprocity, you'll get something back from that. Show up at the real estate event to learn and listen and find out who you're with. It took years But at this point in time right now, I think every single contractor that we have in our business, every single one of them, our painter and his father were recommended to me from a real estate agent that I was using 15 years ago. All of our tradesmen, electrician, plumber, uh, window company, flooring company, our whole team has been referred by other investors in our market or in other markets that are doing business here. And that all comes from, see, I'm a union electrician, right? So my mindset was always to like build a little investor union around here, right? Where we all pass contractors back and forth. And that's kind of what we done. So that's a very long-winded answer. I'm sorry, Stephanie, I got off on a tangent. But the key is don't pinch pennies working with contractors. Network with other investors to find your contractors, because they know if they do right by somebody, they'll get a ton of work. They'll get a ton of investors, because investors usually network and stick together. If they do something sideways and everybody else that this guy stole money from me, well, then there it is, that person will be cut off. So other investors are a great way to find contractors. When you talk about order products, you don't at once. How do you know when to order each product for? Okay, great question, Sarah. So the way that we handle our products is we go through Home Depot, homedepot.com, and we order everything. So if we order the trim, the plumbing material, everything that's going to be purchased by our contractor or for the contractors, we order it all at once. We have it all delivered at the same time, but we don't have it all delivered until the end of drywall repair. So it's not sitting on the project for too long. So we have all of our material dropped off at the end of drywall repair. Good question. Yeah, HVAC referral. Yep. Let's see here. Did I miss anybody? Jack. Nope. Just making sure I'm not missing any other. All really good questions, guys. Keep it simple. And if there's anything you can take away from this, I could teach you how to rehab all day long. But the most important thing you can do, no matter what network you're in, no matter what market you're in, I'm sorry, is connecting. And hey, Jason, what's up, brother? Is connecting with other real estate investors. You've got to put yourself out there. You've got to put yourself out there. You got to meet people. You've got to know who to avoid. You need to know there's a lot of snakes in the game now. You got to make sure you know who's who, and just do business the right way. You focus on doing business the right way, and the right people will come. But you've got to put yourself out there, meeting people, networking, shaking hands. We call it shaking hands and kissing babies, right? If you don't put yourself out there, you're never going to meet anybody. And that's the most important thing. Whatever market you're in, there's meetup.com. As a matter of fact, for the local people, I don't know looks like we have some local and some distance people. We are going to start doing our local meetups again, either at the library, at my office, or something like that. We're going to start doing some events where we maybe go around, check out a couple rehabs that we have going on, where I could teach you all three stages. We can do the rough stage, we can do the finished stage, we can do the preliminary stage, we can do it all. We can just go out and look at different rehab things. And we're going to start teaching individual topics again, raising private money. We'll do one on managing rehabs like we just did. We'll do marketing. We'll do it all, or whatever, all winter long. We'll do our meetups, and trying to teach you how to find some deals, because the art is this: once you learn how to find a deal, you've done it. Learn how to find a deal, you can literally create your own ATM machine, because once you know how to find a deal, there's plenty of people like me that are out there looking to buy them, right? So the skill is understand how to find a deal. All right, I think that what's up, Travis? All right, it's 8:26. We got 4 more minutes. I promised everybody we would be done by 8:30. We got 4 more minutes. Is there anything else? Any other resources that you can use, or anything else I can do to answer any other questions? Nuggets? If you're looking for more useful information, you can follow me on Rick Howell, on Rick Howell REI on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. If you're interested in learning more, a deeper diving of real estate investing, feel free to DM me, give me a shout. I'd love to work with you. What's happening, Travis? Oops, I already said that. Sorry, buddy. It popped up and said, I got 2 things going on here, man. So I'm just trying to figure this out. I appreciate everybody taking the time to you. It's videos and little networking things just like this is what got us our start. I used to plug in and watch YouTube videos and go to every RIA meeting. And just so in case you don't know, a RIA meeting is the Real Estate Investor Association meeting. Whatever market you're in, just look it up. They usually have one meeting a month where you can go. It's usually 2-3 hours. You can listen, you can learn, you can network with other real estate investors. It's a great resource, especially if you're just getting started. Jeff, what's up, brother? So speak of the devil. There's a guy on here that is killing the game in the rental world, has been for a long time. Perfect example of someone that you just reach out and build a relationship with and ask questions. And here's how it works, guys. People that are asking, they want to learn from the real estate investors. I'm just going to let out there. We hired a coach. We have coaching for everything. We have coaching for coaching, if that makes sense. You can take the longer path, right? You can watch the videos, you can go to RIA meetings, you can read the books, you can do all that, right? It's going to be a long path. The shortcut to really understanding, to learn how to build a real estate investing business is pay somebody to learn what they're doing. Hire a coach. Now, let me deep dive into that. There's people out there that you don't want to learn from. So before, number one, make sure you understand what it is that you want. What are your dreams, your goals? There's people, the reason we started off with rehabbing was because I had a construction background. Now, full disclosure, there's 2 people in my market that are slaughtering the game in rentals, and one of them is right on here right now. If I could go back 15 years and start all over again, one thing I would have done, I would have kept my electrical job longer and never sold a house, right? Take that for what it's worth. If I could start all over today, knowing what I know now, I'm thankful for everything we have now. We've got a full, I mean, it's great. But if I could go back and change anything, I would have went and learned from somebody different than what I learned this time around. And I would have never sold a house. I would have kept every single one of them. And by now we'd have 1,000 of them, right? That's one thing. So keep in mind, make sure you know what you want, because building a rental portfolio is a long, slower game. Rehabbing houses is bigger chunks of money. You might make between 20, 60, 80, 100, whatever, a lot of money having houses. That comes and goes. If you can buy an asset for 30 grand and be all in it for 50, 60, and then a couple years later it's worth 120, 130, that's wealth, right? And we can deep dive more into this. Be happy to share with you the things that I've learned over the years, but a lot of people think that rehabbing houses is not cool, right? It's work. You got to turn it into a full-fledged business, or else you're going to do all the work. But the same skills you're going to have rehabbing houses, you can flip that and keep the property and just on top of each other like bricks. And before you know it, depending on what your age is, I'm an old man, but if you're young, you know, you stack just a couple houses a year like bricks. 10 years down the road, you might have 30, 50, 100 houses, and you're living life however you want. Does it work? Yeah. Is it easy? Absolutely not. There's layers to all of this. People ask, what would you do different? That's the one thing that I would do different. If I could go back to when I was 30 years old and started this, I would keep every house we ever had. I would have kept my electrical job maybe 5 more years, and things would look totally different. But that is what it is. Yeah, Jim. Yep. 100%, man. But hey, it's growing now though. The portfolio is growing now. So that's one thing. And people ask how we got started in real estate. Full disclosure, how did we get started in real estate? Real quick, we got 2 more minutes. I was working at Davis Besse for electrical contractor, and the foreman on the job, I would have to leave early a couple days a week to go coach baseball. And the foreman on the job would always say, if you can't stay the full 10 hours or 12 hours, I think, on the job, there's 1,000 guys on the layoff list that'll come take your job tomorrow. And that just didn't sit right with me in my gut. I hated it. But what happened was there was a guy on the job that was flipping houses. And I was very interested in it because the money he was making was more than we ever made in a year. And he didn't know how to teach me how to do it. But what he did do was he gave me the book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that book single-handedly took me down a path of personal development, real estate, financial education, all that stuff. Just one book changed the trajectory of me and my family's entire life. So that's the truth of how it all started. And I hope if you haven't read it, read it, and I hope it'll do the same for you. Thanks, Jeff. As a matter of fact, I owe you a phone call about lenders. My lender resigned. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The Purple Book. Yeah, man. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, buddy. That book. Some people love it. Some people hate it. For me, it changed. It changed my. It just changed my thinking from our guy to building assets. So I won't keep everybody much longer. Make sure I'm not missing any questions. I got everybody here. Yep, I think I answered everybody's question. If anything else pops up in your mind, I'm going to start doing these more consistent. My coach actually recommended to start putting more content out, helping more people. So I'm going to come up with a topic. If there's anything that you want to learn, again, I only consider myself an expert in marketing for off-market deals. We're pretty good at selling on the retail market as an agent. Construction can help out with construction. Building a rental portfolio, we're getting traction on there. Property management, we have our own in-house property management now, so that's good. Don't really know much or do anything with commercial yet. So if there's anything in the realm of those things that I could help you with, I would recommend this. Understand learning how to raise private money, how to find off-market deals. How to find off-market deals is your bread and butter to success right out of the gate. When you can learn how to find off-market deals and you can build relationships with cash buyers, you just created yourself an ATM machine. Right? Maybe that's the next thing I'll do. Maybe the next thing I'll do is marketing on how to find off-market deals, because when you can learn how to find off-market deals and build relationships with other buy and hold people, rehabbers, it doesn't matter. When you can build relationships with those types of people and find off-market deals, you just created your own ATM machine. And I'll elaborate more on that. Hey, Christine. Oops. Christine. So the other young lady that just tuned in, Christine, is our assistant that runs all the back end of marketing. Speaking of marketing, Christine, we're going to do a marketing. I'm going to make you uncomfortable and have you get on our meeting. I know you love doing that. So that's all I got, guys. Right now, if there's anything that pops up, that have any questions, anything I can help you with, feel free to reach out, DM, YouTube, TikTok. I'm trying to learn all this stuff as an old man, so bear with me, but I'll be happy to help you any way I can. And I hope everybody has a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.